and damages to her home.
Order. All rise. Yeah, this is case number 547 on the calendar in the matter of White versus Polk. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat.
Ms. White, the defendant is your niece.
Yes.
And according to your complaint, your niece had been living with you.
Yes.
You went away on business for a couple of weeks. And it is your claim that either your niece or someone that she invited to your home destroyed some of your property. And the most expensive thing that was destroyed was your car.
Yes, a 95 Nissan Pathfinder.
And that was damaged because, according to you, the car was not in good running order, and you had brought it back to your home to just sit there until you could take care of it. It was not to be driven. Somebody, either the defendant or someone else, drove the car, and because it was driven with no oil, the engine seized or something happened to the engine. And the engine has to be replaced. Ms. Polk said somebody else did it.
Yes.
Oh, okay. How long was your niece living with you?
Ebony moved in with me in March, the middle of March.
Why?
I took Ebony out of a bad situation, Judge, and I let her come and stay with me. I was taking Ebony to and from work until I started having the trouble with the Pathfinder, which was in June. It started leaking oil, and I was told that by the mechanic, I have here the estimate. I needed a real main seal rod bearing, a main bearing. Sure.
Because you're just reading that. You don't understand what all that is. Ladies usually don't understand what all this is. It just is it doesn't run.
Yes, but that's why the Jeep was parked.
That's why it was parked?
Exactly.
Okay. So the original estimate back in June was $1,650 for parts and labor.
Yes.
To fix the car at that time. So from middle of June until July the 6th, the car was just sitting.
Just sitting.
And your niece was living with you
She was still there.
And you were not giving her rides to and from work in this car?
No, she had to catch city transit.
Okay, so far is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Oh. And then when you went away on July 6th, were you going there for business or pleasure?
No, business. And I was gone for 2 weeks at the group home. Ebony asked if her best friend, Brandy, could stay in the home with her while I was gone. I had no problem with that. When I returned, my Jeep wasn't parked the way I had left it. And I knew then it had been moved. When Ebony came home that afternoon, I asked her what happened. And she told me that they drove that Jeep and she had it towed back to my house.
What happened when you drove the Jeep, Ebony?
Well, I wasn't driving the Jeep. My friend Brandy was driving the Jeep.
Were you the passenger?
Yes.
So it doesn't make any difference. The two of you were in the car. Why did you take the car?
Because the fight had broke out at the house because I had a party. And, you know, a fight had broke out at the house, and I just said I had to go. It was still early, so we got in the Jeep and we went riding.
But you knew that you couldn't use the Jeep because you hadn't...
I know. I already know.
What do you mean you know, you know?
I know. I know the Jeep. I knew, I mean, I didn't know it was messed up like that because when we got ready to get in the Jeep, an oil leak, I looked under the Jeep and see if it any oil on the concrete. It was no oil. So therefore, I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was major like that. So we got in, started driving. Before we could get back to the house, it just stopped. I towed it back to the house. I got it back, you know, I got it back to the, you know, property fine and all right, but I feel
Well, you didn't get it back fine and all right. It had to be towed.
Well, it got back. It was better than leaving it on the side of the road.
You have another estimate for the car?
Exactly. Your Honor, not only that, Ebony went in my daughter's bedroom. I have a handicapped daughter. I had just bought her a 50 CD changer, took that child's stereo out, put it in the den. Now I'm left to buy her another stereo. They demolished that. 5 of her CDs were taken. Only the cases are left.
I was not responsible for that. I mean, it wasn't my fault. I did not know the CDs was gone.
For anything.
And I didn't know the stereo was messed up until she told me about it.
Well, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
What kind of fight broke out in the house?
Well, it was a little scuffle, and when the scuffle happened, I told everybody they had to go.
Well, how many people were everybody?
It was only meant to be a few friends, few of Brandy's friends. It ended up being about 50, 60 people, and I knew that wasn't, I knew that wasn't even gonna work. So I told everybody they had
she
to
didn't
go.
have permission to have anybody in my house.
Well, listen to me.
I have here.
You made a big mistake.
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
I did. I admit I did.
How old are you?
19.
Right.
I feel like it's not my fault. I ain't had nothing to do with it. I wasn't driving it. I feel like I shouldn't have to pay for it.
Well, what about the carpet and the furniture?
The carpet.
Don't answer her yet. I'm still adding.
I'm sorry.
Let us assume that the damages, Miss Polk, that your aunt is claiming to her carpet, to the CD changer, the CDs, which she has itemized at, well, it's less than $44.23. It's less than that because I'm deducting the original $16.50
Okay.
that you were going to be charged to fix the car. Let us assume that all of that is correct. Carpet got stained because somebody spilled wine on it.
I offered to clean it though, but she had a little attitude. I told her she had to wait till I got paid. But if she couldn't wait, she had an attitude. I got a mop and bleach and I tried to get it up. It was some stains, but I told her I was gonna get the stain cleaner. She couldn't wait, oh well.
Where are you living now?
I stay with my friend.
Good.
Thank you.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Rita White claims her niece Ebony Polk owes for the cost of a car engine and damage to her home. Rita says Ebony has a bad attitude.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and I have here where I had my carpet and furniture cleaned. I have the receipt here. I've already paid for that. Ebony feels like she's not responsible for anything.
Yes, I know that. What are we going to do about that?
Well, she cannot come back in my home.
Perfect.
There's no way.
Good.
I don't want to come back anyway.
She
I'm
shouldn't
fine
come
right where
back
I'm
to
at.
your home. Look, you spent $270 on the carpet.
That was the carpet and the furniture, the love seat and sofa.
And what about
together.
this CD changer?
Yes, that cost $279.
Do you have a bill for it?
No, I don't have that. The original price was like $319, but it was 6 months old because I bought it for her 25th birthday.
That was not my fault.
Well, whose fault was it? Tell me. No,
The
I'm curious.
gentleman who was in there who started the scuffle.
But I didn't tell
Shh,
anyone.
just a second. You allowed those people into your home.
I didn't know it was gonna be that many. I did not know all those people was coming. Brandy
didn't-
knew all those people was coming.
Why-
I did not know.
Why
It was
didn't you
only
call-
supposed to have been a couple of people. Those was Brandy's friends. She is suing the wrong one.
Why didn't you call the police?
Because. Why?
What's a because?
Why? They were already gone. I didn't know who it was.
Listen to me. Some people are helpless. Some people are hopeless.
I am not hopeless.
Hopeless. Hopeless. Not helpless. Hopeless. Waste no more of your energy. You tried to do the right thing, didn't get there, doesn't get the message. She's got the attitude. It's never going to go away. You try to be a nice person. You said, invite your friend over. Don't stay alone. She abused your trust. She has no sense of right and wrong. She's 19 years old, so she's still young. But with that kind of an attitude, she's never going to change. Wash your hands and say, finito. And concentrate on your children, concentrate on your job, concentrate on what you do, concentrate on the fact that she owes you $3,038. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Thank
Parties
you.
are excused. You may step out.
The Jeep was not my fault, and I'm not paying for that. And she knew that, so oh well.
All I can say is I love her. I love her, and I'll continue to pray for her.
She should have been talking to Brandy about that because those were her friends. She drove the Jeep, and it's her fault. Oh well.
I tried hard for Ebony.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Johnson versus Blocker Thomas. Step forward, please.
35-year-old administrator Gina Johnson is suing 30-year-old nurse Crystal Blocker Thomas for the cost of a wedding veil.
Miss Johnson, were you and the defendant friends before you loaned her your veil, your
Yes,
wedding veil?
acquaintances for about 8 years.
Acquaintances, but not good friends.
No.
It's your complaint that you loaned her your wedding veil. She was getting married, and when she finally got around to returning it after many requests, it was ruined, and you want the value of it.
Yes, Your Honor.
So I'd like you to tell me when you agreed to loan her your veil.
We played basketball together in a women's basketball league, and our league had just ended. It was about March. And probably around the mid of March, we went to a restaurant and discussed that she was getting married sometime in July and how expensive it was to get married. And I explained to her that I knew a lot of ways to cut costs, and I had some items that she could borrow. And I had not heard from Crystal after we had that lunch until the morning of her wedding, and that was sometime in July. She called me at 6:45 a.m., spoke to my husband. She called back about 9:15 that morning. And I explained to her, you know,
What did she say to you when you spoke to her at 9 o'clock in the morning?
She says, "Hi, Gina, this is Crystal. I'm calling you because I would like to borrow your wedding veil. You remember when we had the conversation about borrowing the veil?" And I said, "Yes, I do." I said, "When do you get married?" She says, "Today." And I said,
So you were not really close friends because you weren't going to the wedding.
Right, correct.
So you're just acquaintances.
Right.
So go ahead.
And so when I talked to her on the phone, I said, "Well, Crystal, I have plans today. You know, you're getting married today. What time?" And I believe she said about 4 o'clock. And I'm a woman of my word. I said that she could borrow it. I was going to let her borrow it. I didn't want to leave her out. And so about that time, I told her, "Okay, I've got plans. You need to meet me closer to my home." She agreed to meet me about, I guess it was about noon. And I met her, gave her my veil in its original plastic bag on a hanger hanging in mint condition. And she got out of the car and across the street and gave her my veil. I said, "Congratulations. Get this back to me as soon as you can." She says, "No problem. Thank you."
Okay, so you had your wedding?
Yes.
Now you say she gave you the veil.
Yes.
Well, let me hear, because the wedding, it's clear that the veil must have come back in terrible condition, which you'll show me in a minute. Tell me about your recollection of the conversation that took place in July when you got married.
Okay, we were at Ken Ride's, and as she stated, we were talking about the wedding. Gina just openly said, "Crystal, if you need anything, I have so many things that I'm not going to use again. They're not, you know, they're going to be totally obsolete. So if you need anything, just call me, and I'll be more than willing to give you whatever I have." She said, "Because I know I'm not going to use it again." So I said, "Okay, well, I don't believe I need too much because I'm pretty much finished."
You called her the day of your wedding,
Yes.
and you told her you didn't have a wedding veil. Had you forgotten to get a wedding veil?
No. Well, I guess I did forget because I wasn't going to wear a piece. I wasn't going to wear a headpiece.
And then you decided to wear a headpiece.
Right.
So you called her first thing in the morning.
No, I called her about because I went to go get my hair done first thing in the morning. And the way she did my hair, I realized a veil would probably look better.
So you called her and asked her for hers.
I asked her, did she have one? Because we never discussed that I would use her veil. I asked her, did she have one? And she said, as a matter of fact, I do.
When she gave you the veil, she gave it to you on a hanger?
She gave it to me on a hanger with 2 safety pins in it.
And it was covered with plastic.
A trash bag, not a bridal
It was
bag.
covered with plastic.
Yes.
And it was in perfect enough condition for you to use that day. I assume you used it. I assume you used it that day.
I didn't use the entire veil. I altered it.
What do you mean you altered it?
Because we let her know, because I was with my friend Tamara that dropped me out, that was doing the driving, rather. And she let me know, Tamara let her know, this will
Where's
not work.
Tamara?
This is Tamara right here.
Step up. Did you ever tell the plaintiff that you were going to change, alter, cut, modify the veil?
Yes, ma'am, we did mention that day because when we...
No, I want you to tell me what you said, because she said she didn't say anything.
Well, when I looked at the veil, I said the headpiece would have to come off because of how Crystal's hair was done that day, because it's a headband-type headpiece. It would not go over her hair.
And when did you tell that to the plaintiff?
Right when we got out the car, because we were both out of the car, and actually...
Did she tell you that?
No, Your Honor. The first time I saw her, she was behind the wheel. I had never spoke to her.
Did they ever tell you that they were going to do anything to alter your headpiece?
No, Your Honor.
Of course not. Let me see how they returned it, please.
Your Honor, and I also have my friend Teresa Cackley, who is here as a witness, who heard the original conversations.
I don't care what the original conversation was. Nobody gives a stranger their wedding veil. Now, when it was returned to you, I read your complaint, and you said that this is just a piece of Where's the whole piece?
She still has it, Your Honor, and that's a headpiece.
This is the actual headpiece.
When it was returned to you, was it returned to you in a garbage bag full of other things?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why?
I didn't return it to her. My husband brought it to the gym because she was talking badly about me to her.
Because she wanted her wedding veil back. Why
Okay.
didn't you give it back to her?
She let me have it. Why would I give it back if she let me have it?
Listen, is that also a piece from her wedding veil?
No, this is how we auctioned it. This is the actual necklace that went on the veil. As you can see, we just...
Just a minute. Was that originally on the veil when she gave it
This?
to you?
No.
That?
No.
That was your piece?
Yes.
Now, this has nothing to do with money. So I want you just to answer my question. Do you have all the pieces now that you had from your veil?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
What is missing?
As you can see, someone picked the pearls off of the back of it. You can see where some of them were glued here, and they've been removed off the veil.
So there's no way that, I mean, you're going to get your money. There's no way you're not going to get your money, whatever the cost of the veil was, because Miss Thomas is not operating with a full deck. I never heard of any young woman who thought that she borrowed either a wedding dress from an acquaintance, not a friend, not a best friend, not somebody who was invited to the wedding, from an acquaintance, borrowed a wedding veil, borrowed shoes, borrowed a bag, and then said, oh, it's mine. I can now treat it like garbage. You're absolutely outrageous, and your husband is a bigger slob by returning it in that garbage bag to her with some old dead flowers in it. Was there wedding cake in there, too?
Your Honor, that is her bouquet that she returned and did not know it was in the bag. And that's the only way I could get her to return my calls, that she wanted her bouquet back.
Really? Why did you want your bouquet back? No. Just answer my, don't think about it. Just tell me, why did you want your
Because
bouquet
it's my
back?
bouquet, and
oh! So it's your bouquet.
Right.
And you want it back. Sue for it. Sue for it. I want you to listen to me very carefully. You're going to be unsuccessful.
Okay.
You want to know why? Because your husband gave it to her.
Well, she gave me her veil.
No, she didn't.
She never said it was
No, she
alone.
didn't. You just told me your husband gave her this entire bag. I am finding that she loaned you the veil, which you destroyed. But it's so interesting to me, Miss Thomas, that you say, well, it's my bouquet from my wedding. I want it back. And you can't understand why really a stranger who was being nice to you gave you her wedding veil, which is expensive, which was lovely, and you think, she gave it to me, and I don't have to give it back to her. So, you want those flowers? I suggest you file a lawsuit. I hope it doesn't come before me, because if it comes before me, you're not going to get it back because your husband gave it to her. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount requested. The veil is worth at least $220. That's all.
Thank you, Your
Parties
Honor.
are excused. You may...
9-year-old payroll clerk Rebecca Moore for unpaid credit card charges. Nancy says the payment stopped when her son rebuffed Rebecca's advances.
Come to order. All rise. Your Honor, this is case number 441 on the calendar in the matter of Griffin versus Moore.
Thank you, Bert.
Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have seats.
According to your complaint, you and the defendant met when I believe her husband and your son were incarcerated together.
Yes, ma'am.
Your complaint alleges that you developed a friendship and you allowed the defendant to charge certain items on your credit card with the agreement that she would repay you or pay the bill as it came in. Initially she did, then she stopped. And you allege that when she stopped paying, she owed you $842.
That's correct, Your Honor.
So when did you first meet the defendant?
I think approximately about a year ago.
Voices buzzing, but no story to be told. We stand on solid ground, but our feet begin to sink. We've traded real emotions for a temporary link. This synthetic sun is setting on a generation lost in this Samak song. We're counting up the cost.
Charleston, and that's when his mother, she turned against me. She told me our friendship was over because I tried to help her son.
What date was that?
Ma'am, to be honest with you, I'm not sure.
Okay. She says that you did not pay the October bill,
Ma'am,
which is
I have
800.
I have a check.
Which is 800. Listen to me.
Okay.
Which is $846.05.
Yes, ma'am, I understand
the
that.
October bill. Okay, let me see.
And I'm not denying that there were credit card charges. There were. I have a check from State Street Bank that was given, that it was a 401k check that I received from my employer. I have a copy of the front and back of that check that I gave her permission to go get out of my post office box and endorse and deposit into her account. She gave me $368 back.
May I see it, please?
And I have it where she endorsed my name and her name on the back. That's not my signature. Because at the time I was on a medical leave, she knew that my money was a little tight. I told her to take the check to pay for the bills because I never missed paying her.
I'm just trying to find the date on this, when she endorsed it.
It was on 1027 on my, it's on, I think, the second or third page of my bank account statements. And you'll see right next to it where I cashed a check for the exact amount and gave it to Miss Moore at my home right in front of my husband. He'll be a witness to that.
Her husband has never been present.
Just a second.
We've made any charges or any money exchange.
Just a second. So what you're telling me, Miss Griffin, is that at the time your friendship was coming to an end, the defendant gave you a check, which you did in fact cash,
yes, ma'am,
in the amount of $1,012.99.
Yes, ma'am.
And you gave her the entire amount of money.
Yes, ma'am.
Doesn't make sense to me, Miss Griffin.
That weekend, Miss Moore came to my house.
Yeah.
I gave her the full amount of cash, handed it to her.
Right.
She said she wanted to give me $300 because she had a rainbow rental or something that was pressing and had to be paid. And she said when she got her check on Tuesday...
Let me see the rest of her papers, please.
When she got the rest of her check on Tuesday, that she would take care of the rest of it.
Your Honor, I could have...
And the whole time Miss Moore was out on disability...
Just a second.
I could have cashed that check myself.
I cashed her check because she did not have a bank account at that time. I took care of things for her. She had some drug problem, and she tried to commit suicide.
Not interested in that.
Well,
Your
I mean,
Honor,
I
that
was
is
there
not true.
taking
I just
care
read
of her.
police
I
reports
didn't want to turn my back on her.
Your Honor, that is...
Were there any witnesses present to the transfer of this $1,012 to Miss Moore
My
on the
husband,
27th?
Michael Griffin, was there.
See here?
Yes,
Your
ma'am.
Honor, he
Stand,
was never
Michael.
present during any of these things.
Just a second.
It was just me and her.
Go ahead.
Mrs. Moore wanted to meet with my wife at our home because whoever she was seeing for therapeutic reasons told her to come to closure between Kevin and Nancy. And I was standing right there in my bedroom. She was sitting in the blue chair to the left of my bed when Nancy handed her $1,012 and change, and Rebecca handed her back $300 to deposit in Nancy's account.
No, ma'am, that is not true. Mr. Griffin was never
Now,
present
just a
during
second.
any of these transactions.
Just a second. I don't see whether she was given credit for the $300.
On the first page, every deposit that she made to me is on the left. Every bill that I wrote to the Avenue or any of my other credit cards
So is what you're telling
to the right.
Is what you're telling me that at the time she made these purchases in October, she still had an outstanding bill to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor,
She made-
also Mrs. Griffin shopped along with me, and she had stuff on that bill as well, where our stuff was added together and not separately.
That's wrong, Your Honor. If you look at my receipts, I've been very careful, and she had one receipt, and I had one receipt.
Always a big mistake.
Your Honor, and
You know, you understand this is always a big mistake to do.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay. Miss Griffin, who it appears over an extended period of time, had been very good to you financially by allowing you to make these purchases when you didn't have the cash to do it.
Yes, ma'am.
But all of a sudden say that you have an outstanding bill to her of $846 when you didn't.
Your Honor, like I said, when our friendship separated, it was due to the fact that her son stole from me and he went to jail for a drug
That's
charge.
untrue, Your
And I
Honor.
have the police report here. That's when mine and her friendship went sour because her son came to me. He asked me for help. He spent 3 days at my home when she didn't know where he was. When I told her that he had been at my home, she got very upset with me for not contacting her.
What date was that?
Oh, it was before Halloween.
11/3.
So it was after this?
No,
occurred.
this was the weekend prior to 11/3.
Was it before or after the $1,000 check was cashed by the plaintiff?
This was after.
Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. We were still very much a part of each other's lives at that time. She had continued to call. I said, please do not call me anymore. I got so upset that I wound up in the hospital on her last phone call.
Okay.
Your Honor,
I believe you, sir. Listen to me. I believe you, sir, when you indicate that $1,012 was passed. Were you present when $300 was given to your wife?
Yes, Your Honor.
How was that given?
In cash.
$100 bill?
Rebecca, pardon me, Your Honor. Rebecca handed back cash, $300 cash to Nancy.
Not true, Your Honor. That is not true. And I have somebody
You have
here
your
with-
bank records with you?
No, because at the time I did not have a bank account. She was correct about that. I did not have a bank account. But I could have cashed that check myself through my employer's bank.
But you didn't.
But I always cash
You
my
didn't.
checks by myself. She
You
never
said
did
you
it
had a
before.
witness. I'll hear your witness if your witness has anything germane. If he does.
Yes,
What is
ma'am.
your name?
Alan Young. I've been a friend of Rebecca's for 15 years. Becky asked me would I give her a loan of $300 because she owed Mrs. Griffith some money. She borrowed money from me that night because she said she had to pay on her rent or something. So I kind of believed her.
What is your rent, Miss Moore?
$385.
Well, even if she took all the money she owed you, you still had the $300 for rent.
I understand
So why did you
that.
need to borrow money from him for?
Because I had additional bills that I owed for besides paying her. But I wanted to pay her and have her out of the way because I always paid her before the bills were due.
Do you have the statement from your account, Miss Griffin, as to what payments you made on the account in November?
Yes, ma'am, that would be right in those payments there. I'll be glad
I
to
see.
show
You
them to them.
made a deposit on the 30th of October.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, she was paid in full when she received that check.
No, ma'am, I was not.
Yes, you were.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so because I see no other basis for her depositing only $300 into her checking account on the 30th
Well, Your
of
Honor,
October.
I can't help if that's the only thing she deposited. She was paid.
I have to make a determination based upon evidence. The evidence indicates that on or about the time that that check was cashed, she did deposit $300 into her account. So I'm entering a judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $842. That's all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
The jail Monday.
She is married, and at the time I had a fiance.
I lost a friendship on kind of her son's drug problem.
She knew that, and she was still coming on to me.
She can't rule everybody.
The next case.
All parties on Gregorian versus Scaturio. Step forward, please.
23-year-old cashier Mariam Gregorian is suing former live-in boyfriend, 23-year-old salesman Scott Scaturio, for his share of a security deposit. Scott is countersuing for the cost to rent a U-Haul, storage costs, and harassment.
Ms. Gregorian, you and the defendant lived together. Were you boyfriend and girlfriend at the time? According to your complaint, you had an arrangement with the defendant that since he had no money, you would put down the security